our speaker for today's session is Dwight McLeod. Is a seasoned entrepreneur and a business strategist with a distinguished track record in sales, marketing, IT solutions. He brings extensive expertise in product negotiation, technical consulting, and corporate training, having worked with 500 companies leading Fortune 500 companies leading educational institutions. Like I told you earlier, it's going to be an exciting one because we're looking at who Mr. Dwight McLeod is. Shows that we're going to learn a whole lot from today's session. We also have a bachelor degree in economics, and specializes in helping small businesses enhance operational efficiency, reduce costs, and drive revenue growth. So this is the chance we've actually been waiting for. As the CEO of Capstone Strategy Group, he's dedicated to equipping businesses, leaders with practical strategies for success in today's dynamic markets. And without further ado, let's welcome Mr. Dwight McLeod. Thank you, Mr. Dwight.
Thank you, Philip. I appreciate the introduction. First of all, let me say welcome and thank you all for being here today. As Philip said, this may be your first time interacting with Kuueza. We certainly hope it isn't your last. Welcome to this journey, the journey of entrepreneurial. It is not an easy one. It's not for the faint of heart. You have to kind of know why you're doing it. And so that's what we're going to talk about today. I'm going to share a couple of things with you that to me are very important to me. One is I feel like I'm at home. I did my ancestry DNA match, and I came out 99.9% Igbo in Nigeria. Now, I was born in the US, but that's where my relatives or my family is from. So I feel at home with all of my Nigerian sisters and brothers. Secondly, I was on one of these calls yesterday. I just went on to see how they're conducted and what they're doing. And I was bored to death because they had a data dump of information and they did not allow anyone to ask questions. And that's not how I operate. I feel the best thing we can do with each other is help each other. So I'll provide some information, but I need you guys to join in interactively and ask questions, challenge what I say, find out how we can help each other. And we should not leave here without getting at least one connection to somebody on this line. Is that fair? You can unmute yourself and speak if you'd like to. Is that fair assumption or a question from me?
It's fair.
It's fair for me.
Thank you.
Okay. I want this to be interactive. So if you have a question that I'm not covering, by all means, let's address it. Maxwell and Philip have given us an hour or more to have this discussion, so I think we should have at it. Philip, can I share my screen?
Sure, you can.
Okay. All righty. Can everyone see my screen now? I want to go here so we can do that. Can everyone see that? When we think of businesses today, they basically have 4 different levels. There is the level over here, the level 0. That's a startup. Someone that has a good idea, they want to go into business, but they haven't taken all the steps to get there. They've certainly not made any sales. Level 2, you get your first sale. Now you're a business. Hopefully by then you've done all of your incorporation type things, your registrations, your certifications and licenses, any business operational setups, etc., and technology integration. Level 3, you start selling to the same people again, repeat sales. That's when your business is beginning to scale and grow. And for each of these, we're going to go back over them because there are key things that start to happen in each of these steps. You now have to streamline your operations, sales and marketing, registration, apply for grants. Now you need money because you're starting to build your business. By the time you get to the maturity level, level 3, you've got a solid business. You've got a business plan in place. You can now go into banks and get money, etc. And there's a lot of things that you need to do here, like a SWOT analysis, to identify the opportunities that are going to be pertinent to you. But let's go back here because each of these have a dollar value, okay? Here, you're not making any money. Here, you're making some money. And here, I would say this will go up to probably $100,000 maybe. You're making some money, you're making some sales. If you're in IT or if you're in technology, you've got a client or two and you go in and service them. When you get here, the number goes from 100,000 to about 500,000, maybe even $1 million, because you've got a team of people and that brings its own challenges. You've got businesses that depend on you and they'll make phone calls to you at any time of day or night because they may need your services at that point in time. And you know, business people, when they need something, they need it right now. By the time you get here, we're talking about $1 million, $5 million. Here's a funny thing. In the US, a small business is considered any business that does not make $250 million a year. So I'm a small business. I don't make that. But what we know here, as we start here, this is where you start to put your business plans in place. When you get here, most of us are doing all the work ourselves, right? If you have to pay for products, you write the checks or you use your credit or debit situations. When you need registrations, you fill out all the work, all the paperwork, certifications. It's usually what you are. If you're certified as a hairstylist, if you're certified in agriculture, if you're certified in technology, you've earned those things probably working somewhere else before. That's what drove you to this challenge or this journey. You've worked elsewhere. You've seen how good the field is, and you know you could do better on your own. By the time you get here, now you got to start looking at spending money on things that you need. And when you get to this point, this is where I say you have to have your three-legged stool. The three legs of your stool are an accountant, a lawyer, and a banker. You have to know those people intimately and personally because they're going to do things for you. At this point, when you're making this kind of money, you're not sitting at the table at night trying to write all the checks out to pay for your accounts receivables. You're not sending out all the invoices to pay for your AP and your AR. It's just not doing that because there's too much of it coming in. You need help or you will go right back to here. That's the other thing. None of these things are promised. Once you can get here, you're not going to go there next. You might go back to here. You might have a new idea. I was just working with a company in Kenya that started out in one area, got to here, started thinking about working with partners to get to here, never made it, and they're now back to here again, coming up with a new idea. So none of this is guaranteed. It's a matter of interactively working with it to make sure you're getting the things done that you want done. At Capstone, we have this, we call this the Sustainable Growth Framework. And we're working with people in Philadelphia, we work with people in New York City, we're working with people in various stages of their business to help them make it to that next level. I say to you that I'd like to check in right now and see where most of you are as a business. Tell me briefly if you're in the first stage, the second stage, the third stage, or the fourth stage, so we know who we're talking to and what we're doing. Does anyone want to share?
Good afternoon. My name is Fumelayo.
Good afternoon, Fumalayo.
Farmer Code. From your explanation, yeah, thank you. From your explanation, I think I'm in level 1. The
Level 1.
existence fully included, yes.
Okay, so you've had a few sales, you've got some level of success, but it's not enough to keep you fully sustained.
No, not at all.
Okay. The other thing
Thank
we
you.
ask is, you're more than welcome. The other thing we ask is to determine early on what kind of business you want to be. And what I mean by that is not everybody wants to go through all these levels, right? Just don't want to. They may make enough money here to make them comfortable. That's called a lifestyle business. And they don't really want to do much more than that. They probably have something that serves a community and they don't need to do a whole lot more. But when you start thinking about scalability and growing, that's when you have to make some of those changes. So, and there's nothing wrong with being a lifestyle business. We will be at a park in Philadelphia next week with a bunch of entrepreneurs that come from Cameroon, Khmer, Vietnam, Thailand, Cambodia, and they sell food on the weekend. They have a job during the week, but they'll be selling food on the weekend, and most of them are here, right? The business that they have is what we call in slang a side hustle. It gives them some extra money so that they can do things with it. But we're going to help them, and we'll find out who's interested because we'll be there with a banker and some other folks to get them on the road to success. Anybody else want to share where they are in their business? Thank you, Fumalaya. Okay, if not, we'll go to the next slide. The components of the successful strategy framework. These are components, and each of them are critical at various phases. Let's take the first one, budget, right? We all know what a budget is. We don't all like to do them because they require us to really take a hard look at ourselves, at our business, and other things to see exactly where we are. So let's say you're at level 1 and you're talking about a budget. You know that you need money to buy products. You know that you need money to get the word out. Most of the marketing that gets done at level 1 is called word of mouth, WOM. People know about what you do. They tell a friend, that friend calls you up and says, can you do this? In New York City right now, there's a lot of folks that do hair braiding. Some are very good, some are not so good. And that's where the word of mouth marketing hurts or helps. If you're not good, people will tell other people, don't go there. They're not that good. If you are good, they'll say, oh yeah, I use so-and-so and she is excellent. But you need to know in your budget what you can afford to do. You can't take on all clients because you probably don't have enough money to get the materials you need. So that's where the budget comes in. When you're in phase 2, you now know you've got X amount of sales per month and you need to get through that month. And that's where budget ties into cash flow. If I've got to buy materials to prepare the products that I'm going to sell, let's say I'm in the agribusiness, I've got to get seed, I've got a season that grows things before I can take it to market. Someone said palm wine. That's a long cycle, but you've got to get there. So you need to know how much cash do I need to make it through this cycle? Let's say the cycle's 6 months. The first question is, what are my living expenses and how am I going to meet those? Has anyone here ever heard of Maslow's hierarchy of needs by Abraham Maslow? So let's explain.
Yes.
Okay, so you've heard of it. Can you explain to us, Eric, what that is? Was that Eric that spoke just now? You said yes?
Yes, yeah, I know.
Can you explain to the group what Abraham Maslow defined in that hierarchy of needs?
We have what is called the in fact, I've learned it and it's long ago and it's like we have the basic needs, that is like food and other things, and we have
Shelter.
Shelter. We have
clothing.
the middle, and we have I think it's about 3 stages, but it's long ago, so I've forgotten.
Okay, So
Yeah, that
Eric
is,
is
it's a
correct.
societal level. It's a societal level. Those who are in the lower class, those who are in the middle class, and those who are in the higher class. I think that is my understanding.
Okay. So let's
Yeah.
take a moment. So Eric is very much correct on that first level. It is actualization. It is the things that you actually need to live. If you don't have clothing, if you don't have food, if you don't have shelter, you spend your entire day trying to make those things happen. So you don't have time to focus on a business. You really don't. That's why your cash flow and your budget are critical at phase 1 and 2, because now you have to know, what do I need to sustain this effort going forward? The business that I was talking to you about in Kenya, that's really the problem they ran into, is that the runway that they thought they needed, that they had set aside cash for, ran out on them. And so the 6 months became, well, maybe we can make it happen in 12 months, but I don't have enough money to pay rent in month 7. So he had to go back and get a job. After that level, you go up to the next level where you're beginning to actually, now you've got the bases covered in Maslow's hierarchy of needs. You go up to the next level where you're looking at things that I would like, things I'd like to buy for myself. I'd like to even take a vacation and go somewhere and visit some people. Those are the kind of things that you start looking at. And it goes all the way up to you're like an Elon Musk. And they call that self-actualization. You've made it to the pinnacle. Now, if anybody's been following news, we know what happened to Elon Musk last week. He lost $100 billion with a B. And so he went from being way up here back down here again. And that's what I'm trying to explain to you. That's why this is a journey. And it requires a lot of our desire. It requires a lot of grit, because you're going to meet obstacles. You're never going to make it all the way through. The third thing we talk about is managing your expenses. Ask yourself this question: is it necessary? Do we need to have that right now? That's how you manage the expenses, to limit the hit on your cash flow. Maybe I do need that item, but I won't need it for 7 months. So therefore, you put it in your accrual bucket and you deal with it when it's necessary. Finally, you go from there to planning and forecasting. Once you get here, you're usually in phase 2, where you're looking at a year plan, a forecast for the upcoming seasons or for the upcoming market, and you're starting to look at what you want to do. And that's when you have to sit down and put a business plan together. A business plan is not some document that, they only do in business schools. It can be a one-sheet piece of paper. It can be an Excel spreadsheet, but it's your understanding of what you need to be successful. And you're forecasting for your future. I think I'm going to need this, because when you go to a lender, which is our next one, finance options, the lender's going to want to see that. The lender's going to want to see a couple of things that we'll cover and the different options there are for finance. Finance options. Usually in phase 1, that finance option is you. You're paying for most of this yourself. And you can only go so far, because you've got to make sure you pay for all those other things that are necessary for life's little shortfalls. The second thing you might do is ask friends or relatives. Are you interested in the business? Would you like to join us? Can you help support us? We've all heard of folks that are going online now and doing these fancy ways of getting folks to donate money to them, etc. That can work for some businesses. But in most of those cases, you're giving up something. You're either taking on debt, which comes with an interest factor. You borrow $10 from me, you pay me back $12. You borrow $100 from me, you pay me back $120, which means you've got to make the money and pay me back. Or it comes with equity. Equity means I give you $100,000, but I own 30% of the business. And I have voting rights to say what we do in the business. And that's usually phase 3 when you're really looking to scale and grow. Angel investors are another option here. Grants are always an option because governments are always looking for ways to grow their GDP. And the best way to grow a GDP is to have successful businesses that are making sales, paying taxes, doing all those kind of things so that you can get money in the government. And so for that, they often give grants out to businesses in certain areas, in certain products, in certain things that they want to see be successful. If anybody's looking at what's going on in Burkina Faso now, you'll see that a lot of businesses that are in startup mode are getting access to capital from the government that they never had before. So they're able to do things more effectively. That moves us down to accounting and records keeping. This is probably the hardest part, but the most important part. I took a course at NYU probably 7 or 8 years ago. And when we went in, the professor said, this is the phase where most people fire their current accounting team. And I was like, why? I've been with them for so long. Why would I do that? Once they broke down what accounting and records keeping did for your business, I could see that these people that I was paying a lot of money to were not doing any of that. So I got another accounting team. In fact, her expression was trying to run a business without good record keeping is like trying to drive a car in a race in reverse using the rear view mirror. You can do it, but you won't be very successful. You certainly won't win. That brings us to tax planning. Tax planning is what it is. Nobody likes paying taxes, but if you ever go into a bank and you don't show any taxes, they don't think you made any money. They won't lend you anything because you haven't made any money. So taxes are a way of demonstrating to the world that we are a viable business. Don't think of it as anything else. That's really what taxes are. Some of the tools for record keeping and helping you get there are QuickBooks. We've all learned to use QuickBooks. You can do that yourself. I don't encourage it because when we try to do it ourselves, there's a lot of consistencies that, we call one expense this month, then we call it something else the next month. And the weird thing about computers is they don't think. They just give you a list of all the stuff you put in there. And so at the end of the year, when you're trying to reconcile all of those various things, don't make sense to you at the end of the day. So that's why I always encourage you to get a bookkeeper, someone who can keep your books for you and can call you out monthly and say, okay, Dwight, you put this money, $310 in this category. What is this category? We've never seen it before. What is it? And now you have to explain it to them and they can get it listed correctly. So accounting and records keeping is critical if you plan to grow your business. Whoops. Okay. Tax planning. Something that we all need to do. We have to do it. It's not nice, but it's necessary. Profit and growth strategies, I don't think I need to tell you much about that because once you get to this point, you've got a team of people working with you. Usually at this point, you have a CFO who's looking at the money that's coming in and deciding where it needs to go, what portion of it goes back into buying materials to keep us growing, what portion of it gets paid out to those who are early stage investors, etc. And it just takes care of itself. And then understanding priorities, what they are, what we do, what are our next steps. Remember, your business has a window. Everything we do has a window. What do I mean by that? What I mean by that is that as you're successful, 10 other people are looking at your success and saying, yeah, but I can do that better. And so now they're jumping into your business and they're going to your clients and they're going to other clients that might have become yours and allowed you to grow and saying, they're charging you X, I can do it for X minus. Are you willing to take a chance on me? So that's understanding prior. And we have this tool that we use called a SWOT analysis. Has anyone here ever heard of a SWOT analysis? Strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats. What are your strengths that make you successful in the market? What are your weaknesses, areas that you could improve on? What opportunities do you see for your business in the future? And what threats are there? Who's doing what you do may be better. And you have to always stay on top of that. So I'm going to stop sharing for a moment, and I'm going to ask us to come online if we can, and let us determine, let's have a conversation. It's 9:40. I've been talking for about half an hour. So let's have a conversation about your business, your questions. I see my buddy Gaston is here. Hello, Gaston. Philip, do you have a way of encouraging questions, or am I missing something here?
Yes, please, if you have a question, kindly raise up your hand, indicate by raising up your hand, call your name. Yes, Fumilayo, you were about saying something.
In this analysis that you've given, the part of tax planning and accounting and record keeping is kind of okay. For accounting and record keeping, I'm not too faithful with it. I omit some things, I procrastinate and end up not doing it right. So that has really been a backside to my business. Then for tax planning, how do you plan it in a way that you will not affect your capital, and it will not affect your profit margin, and also you not have a problem with the government? How can you balance it?
Good question. The problem with the government will be if you don't pay it, right? They give you a certain date where your taxes must be filed, and then at that date you have to pay what you owe. And if you have not paid all year, that could be a large number if you made a good bit of money, right? Let's say you make $200,000 and the tax rate is 20%, and you haven't paid any taxes and you don't have any write-offs. You got to come up with $40,000. And for most of us small businesses, we don't have that laying around. So what my accountant does for our business is he gives us quarterly statements. This is what you should be paying. So January to March, first quarter, right? We just finished, we're wrapping up first quarter. So now he's told me this quarter, you should pay $4,000 to the government for taxes. $5,000, whatever the number is, $6,000, okay? That you can do. And then next quarter, April, May, June, you're making that money back. And now you pay your next estimated tax amount of money. That's how you as a business stay on top of it. Now, there are people that get in trouble because they just don't keep up with it. And as you said, Fumilayo, there are so many things that we do that we just don't stay on top of it, because running a business is not easy. And then running a business and then coming home at night and running the accounting piece of it, that's even more difficult, especially if we have a family, if we have obligations, etc., outside of work. So it's wise to spend $2,000, $3,000 a year for a bookkeeper. And that way they take all of your statements, reconcile them, and every month they come and ask you a question about the various charges, the various expenses, etc. What are they? Help me categorize them. And my guys send me a spreadsheet, and it'll have the actual expense, the date, who made it, and Ask what it was for. You have a couple of categories. Asma? Asmayu? Am I saying that right?
Sorry, ASMAU, Asmau.
Asmau.
Can you hear me?
Okay. I can.
Yeah, good evening, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Asmau, like you're saying. I'm the MDC of Palace Integrated Farms Limited. We're into agro processing. Of course, we are I won't say the first stage because we are already processing and we have products to display. So, but at a very minimal level. So I want to take you back to budgeting. You said something about that's in developed countries. I'm a Nigerian based in Abuja. We know that for young entrepreneurs like us, approaching banks for finance, it's a very, very dicey situation. I worked more than 28 years before I resigned some time ago. So, and I know that for people like us, we're not attractive to the bank to give facilities to. So I want us to please, let us explore other options of making money to finance entrepreneurs. Bank is not an option, a very, very good option in Nigeria, like I said, because I've been there and I know that I'll not give facility. While I was on that table, I won't give facility to people who do have collaterals. And grants is not that forthcoming in Nigeria. Governments should help people like us to grow in order to enhance their GDP. But it is not the same thing in Nigeria. Money is not given to hardworking entrepreneurs that you can see that they're making efforts, but they are growing at a very micro level because they don't have any form of finance to enhance and grow their businesses. So I don't know if there's any opportunity, anyhow we can discuss financing outside bank. And even outside
there
bank.
are opportunities. There are opportunities now outside of banks. And you're right, banks are what we call risk averse. If a bank sees anything that it thinks is a risk, it will not lend you money. In fact, you'll realize that when you're in a position that you don't need bank loans, that's when the banks start sending you notices saying, hey, we can give you money. But when you needed the money, they weren't there, right? That's how banks work. We've all been through that, right? When you don't need their money, they're sending you notices. Come get this $10,000. Come get this $100,000. You know, you've got assets we'd like to tap into. Please come get this money. I get that on my home all the time. My home is almost paid off, so they said, oh, there's a lot of money sitting there. If you just sign that over to us, we'll give you some money. I'm like, yeah, okay, right. But there are other ways. You can go out to your network of friends. Remember, 10 people giving $10 is the same as one giving $100. 10 people giving $100 is the same as one giving $1,000, but not such an obligation. And you pay them back with interest. And remember this, in everything that you do, there's a trust factor. People don't buy products, they buy people. When they trust you, they buy from you. When they trust you, they lend to you. So if you've ever taken their money and not showed up, you'll never get it again. That's an investment that most people are willing to make. I don't mind lending you $100 if it'll make you go away, because I know you won't be coming back. So you have to think of it wisely, and how are you going to build that network? Then there's online fundraising. A lot of people do that. In fact, there are several sites you can go to that will help you create the online fundraising that you need, especially for a project like yours where you're growing food. So that's there. You are on here right now with 23 other people. I would say take this opportunity to make a pitch to them and say, here's what we do, here's what we need, here's what we can get back to you if you help. Does that help at all?
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Like I've already said, I'm into agro processing. We actually basically do what we call dry pap. We process grains into various varieties of pap. And we are at a very minimal level. Like I said, we're very micro. We need funds to procure larger equipment in order to enable us increase our production capacity. And we actually know that our products are good enough to penetrate foreign markets. But of course, when we have demands for these goods, we don't have finance to be able to produce at a larger volume to satisfy the demands. So the online fundraising is a very attractive one. I hope I know how to go about it. Of course, talking to friends and family, it's not too easy in Nigeria. Most people would not want to help you, even if they have the means. You said something which is quite, as a banker of 28 years, I know that your integrity has to be impeccable before anybody wants to. It is you, not your product, just like you said, that people want to help. If they are sure that when they finance you, you are going to return their funds, they're ready to help you. But the situation in the economy of the country itself does not even have that window for you to visit, to meet people to help you on such opportunities. Most people are crying the same thing. No money, no money, no money. So you don't even have families and friends in such situations. So I think the online funding is a very good one. If I know how to go about it, I think I will exploit that.
Okay. And I would say if you're not a member of Kuueza, you need to join, because what Kuueza will offer you is opportunities to sell your product outside of Nigeria. Now that's obviously,
I'm already a member of
that's obviously going to require scaling up so that you can meet demand. But the diaspora is in Canada, it's in the UK, it's in the United States, and they use your product. So therefore, it's an opportunity to go to a marketplace that will make you more successful and make you more bankable. Make sense?
Right. I'm already a member. I've joined the Kuueza family. I'm with them, and we are trying to onboard online. So we're going fast with that. They've been very helpful, and that's where we went in this meeting with them through their platform.
Okay. Good first start.
Right.
Anyone else want to jump in and share? I mean, we've got people on here that we can talk to.
Yes, Mr. Dwight, we have Olushade on the comment section. He said, sir, can you help with the details of some sites of the online sites that you talked about?
It's called crowdfunding. And I don't do it, but I could check it out. Let's see. Crowdfunding.
Okay. We also have Motayo. Motayo, have any question you want to ask?
Thank you very much. Thank you, sir, for the presentation that has enlightened some of us. I just want to ask is about this crowdfunding. There is what we call equity crowdfunding. The dangers of such allowing such into one small business is, I think, one may indirectly at the end of the day, they may say, what about the dangers of them taking over your business? Because once it's equity crowdfunding, the likelihood of them dictating, especially if their share is much, dictating, I mean, how you run your business is very, very high. So what do you think, sir, the dangers of this equity crowdfunding?
Okay, so I just went on ChatGPT and I looked up crowdfunding. Crowdfunding is the process of raising small amounts of money from a large number of people, typically via the internet. And then they give you a step-by-step guide. You choose your goal, pick the right platform, either Kickstarter, Indiegogo, GoFundMe, Patreon, Seed Invest, and then you go out there and you fund. Now, Omatayo, the question you ask is not so much about crowdfunding, because with crowdfunding, you're not offering any of the equity of your business. You're taking on debt. When you take on debt, people can't run your business. You run your business. You just have to pay them back. If you go out, you hear people talk about doing a first round of funding where they go out and raise $1 million or raise a large amount of money. Typically that's with investors, and investors want equity for that. That's when people start trying to run your business and will push you out. So I don't think we're there with crowdfunding.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
And for those who are also asking for ways for funding, Mr. Maxwell on the comment section said Kuueza is currently working with partners to raise funds for SMEs and products with high demands. If you meet the criteria, Kuueza will be able to provide grants and loan from $1,000 to $5,000. So probably if your product meets the demand, we're working on how we can assist with funding for SMEs.
Excellent. Olushade?
Yeah, hi. Thank you, Mr. McLeod. I've actually put some. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for this call. I've learned some, but I did put some things on the chat box where I thought to speak out. One, it would be nice if we could get some sort of hand holding with startup. By that I mean, like, maybe Kuueza does that already. I don't know. They may let us know that here. There's also the question of marketing, the strategies of marketing, and the different modes. How do we go about this? Because I, for one, I do fruits and dry fruits and fruit processing generally. And apart from that, I also do perfumes. But I found out that it's so difficult to get someone who you can actually rely on for your marketing. They promise you they're going to do that, and you pay money, they get halfway, and you see that your page is not really doing much. So I'm just wondering if that can be touched here. That's the marketing strategies, and if Kuueza also does that, it would be nice. So marketing and hand-holding. Thank you.
So marketing is a challenge for all of us in small businesses. Number one means of marketing is called WOM, word of mouth. If your product is out there and people are using it and it's good, they will tell others about it. I'll give you an example. My wife is on the board of directors of an NGO that does work in Rwanda and Guinea. And one of the members of the company brought me back some honey, miel, from Guinea. And I fell in love with it. And I've tried to find that honey online. I can't. I found it, but they won't accept US dollars. They'll only accept CFA or French francs. There's a company that has a product that people want. And if they were on Kuueza, they could start getting that out throughout the diaspora for people who are interested in it. The other thing you have to do is you have to become your own marketer. You got to get your Facebook, you got to get your Instagram, you got to get your TikTok, you got to get whatever you need. My daughter is 23 and she's obsessed with TikToks. She buys more stuff off TikTok than my wife and I do off Amazon. And so you have to find a way to make your product appeal to people. Not necessarily the raw product, but how it's used and what people are finding out about it. That's all marketing. It's really just creating a demand. And I'm not sure what your product is, but the more you share with people about what it can do and what the benefits are, it's going to do some fantastic ways of moving the needle on your sales. And that's really all marketing is supposed to do. And we've had the same experience with you. We've hired people that gave us a wonderful presentation about what they do. And 6 months later, they haven't done anything. And you feel like you've wasted money. And I say you've actually learned something. You've learned that you have to trust yourself and do things yourself. And I think that is the best thing you can learn in all of this. I hope that helps.
Yes, thank you. What about the hand-holding part?
You're in a network of people right now. How many on here now? 25, 23. Ask your questions. When you say hand-holding, tell me what you mean by that.
The type that's a startup. I have other businesses actually. So sort of diversifying into this. And I'm thinking, oh, I want to do this. I think I've got what it takes to do this, but I don't know how to really go about it. So I'm thinking, oh, maybe I could get a professional that will handhold me and tell me, oh, this is what you need to do step by step, moment to moment. And even if I have to pay like a token for that, I don't mind because I have so many other things I'm doing.
It sounds like you're going to have to go back to that piece that I shared with you about understanding priorities. You know, you can't do everything. And you know, it's like having a boss come to you and tell you, I've got 5 number 1 priorities I need you to work on. That sounds like priorities 1 through 5 to me. And only one of them can be number 1. They can't all be number 1. So that means you have to prioritize.
Okay, let me make it clear. One of the things that the major thing I do is event coordination. That's like a lot. So when I say I have a lot of things to do, that's the major thing, and it is a lot. I'm just venturing into, I call myself a budding agropreneur. So I'm just venturing into this. So it's not like when I say I have a lot of things to do, it's all under one umbrella. But there are so many things under it. But I'm thinking, oh, let's go this route because it looks like we all know that we need agri right now. So I'm thinking, and this is something I love to do. I studied food science and tech. So I'm thinking, oh, this is my line. I can actually go this way also. But I love doing events. So I'm thinking, I love doing this. I studied this. Okay, I've been doing some work in that which I love doing. Okay, how about I go into that which I also studied or something related? So that's why I'm going into this. And I see on the chat box that Kuueza is already asking me to get in touch with my RM or support team. So maybe that actually, in addition to what you have said, answers my question.
The other thing I will say to you is we talked in the beginning about budgeting. And basically, we talked about budgeting around money, right? So that you don't run out of money when you're trying to do things. The other thing you have to budget is your time. Because it doesn't matter how good any of us are, we all have the same guarantee every day, 24 hours. You know you need 8 of them to sleep. So that brings you down to 16 hours. You know you need 2 or 3 of them to eat. That's now down to, 14, 13 hours. So what are you going to do with your other 13 hours? You got some transportation to get where you want to go. That's probably an hour, hour and a half. Now you got 10 hours. So that's where we get back to our 8-hour working day. How do we budget that time? And so budgeting, planning and forecasting, and understanding priorities are the 3 areas I would share with you that I think if you take, 2 or 3 hours one morning, when you wake up and you're having your morning cup of tea, coffee, whatever, and just sit down and start writing things down and get it clear in your own mind what you want to do and how you want to do it, what priority 1 is, And when priority one is accomplished, what's the next priority? What's the next step, the next phase? That is an exercise that most of us don't want to do as entrepreneurs, because many of us are extroverted and there's so many ideas running through our head. We just think everyone's great. But you got to take the time to do that exercise.
Thank you so much. That helps a lot, a lot. I'm going to definitely start doing that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You wish you could get 8 hours sleep, huh?
I wish. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. And I see Maxwell or Philip have put in our RMs are experts in the field of branding. So that might be a place to start as well.
Yeah, so if you have more questions, please kindly raise up your hand, indicate by raising up your hand so that Mr. Dwight can be able to do justice to them. Okay, I think there are no more questions.
Okay. Then, as they would say in Congress, I yield my time back to Mr. Philip.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Dwight, for those insightful discussion. For me, it was more interactive because I feel it connects more when you're able to ask questions and people are be able to answer, it connects directly. And the fact that I believe you have a strong connection with Africa, because your examples that you were using were basically mentioning some of the African countries and the problem directly. So it sort of impacted positively to me, I believe, including every attendee who is here. And then we were supposed to move to the next section for the questions and answers. So I believe you have been able to do justice to some of them. But if there are still questions from people who you feel there are questions that Mr. Dwight haven't answered and you want to ask them, there's still room for that. And also don't forget, we have our team on standby on the comment section. So if you have any question you want to ask, drop your questions there. They will definitely respond to them. For now, if there are no more questions for Mr. Dwight, I think if we can give the next 30 seconds to see if there's any more questions that will be coming.
And I'll stay around throughout the meeting. If there are something and you feel I can help, please let me know.
Yes, that's true. That's true. So for those vendors who having difficulties with your marketing, like Mr. Maxwell dropped on the comment section, kindly reach out. So if you are a vendor on Kuueza, reach out to a relationship manager that will definitely put you through, or you can contact the support team. And then if we have vendors or prospective vendors on our platform here who want to join Kuueza, drop your details on the comment section. You can also visit our website at www.kuueza.com. We'll pick up from there with the onboarding journey. So probably we'll give another 30 seconds for more questions.
Oh, Philip,
Hello,
thank you so much.
Yes.
Let me first of all thank Mr. Dwight for his time, and thanks to everyone who shows up. What I wanted to add that came to my mind is I saw a video this morning of a product, cassava flour from Cameroon, and the product already sold about 700 already orders, and the review is about 450 reviews. So I dig deeper about the product, and I realized the producer of this cassava flour, I'm just going to address the marketing that the other participant mentioned, always shares video of how to use cassava flour, how to use it to bake, what you can do with it, and where the cassava comes from, how they get the cassava, the farmers that cultivate the cassava from the farm to the factory. They put the video of everything about the cassava flour on their page, and it's selling. So for all of you guys thinking about marketing and you produce a product, nobody will buy your product if you are not engaging the people, with the consumer, on how to use a product every single time. So that's the marketing strategy that I wanted to share with all of you. I realize you all produce one product or the other. You need to find a way to get a message out there. You need to connect with the people that need your product through video. It could be 2 minute short video about how to use your product, what your product is all about, what inspired you to start your business. If you're struggling in marketing, this is very key for all of you who produce products, one food product or the other. That is all I wanted to add. Pay more attention to using a video to drive consumer behavior or to drive traffic to your product if you're going to sell. If you're using Kuueza, you have that opportunity to put a video of your product on your dashboard. This is how somebody might be interested to buy your product. Don't forget that if you produce honey, we have over 5,000 people who produce the same honey. The question is, why should I buy yours? If you cannot prove that to me, even Kuueza cannot help you. That is what I wanted to add. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Maxwell. For those vendors who, if you're all with us on Kuueza, for those who joined earlier, you can understand what Mr. Maxwell have actually said. I believe before now, your relationship manager, your RM, would have reached out to you requesting for a video of your products. This actually helps us put out your product out there. So I believe with what Mr. Maxwell has said, it will be able to bring out that spirit in you to give us the videos that are required to be able to promote your products or put them out there. If you're not able to send it to your relationship manager, like Mr. Maxwell has said, upload them on your dashboard. We'll always see them from the dashboard. And thank you so much, Mr. Maxwell, for that. And finally, Dr. Gatry. Yes.
Philip, if I could add something to what Mr. Maxwell just said.
Thank you so much. Yeah, go ahead.
You can make those videos with your smartphone now, so you don't need special equipment. You can go ahead and make those videos with your smartphone. And once you have a video, there's no rule that says I have to make a new video every time. I take one video and I put it out 200 times on different platforms, and it's serving the same purpose because new eyes are going to see it each time it goes out. So, Maxwell, that's an excellent thought.
Thank you so much, Mr. Dwight. Val, do you have anything to add?
Yes, thank you very much, Phil. Thank you, Dwight and Maxwell, for connecting us to Dwight to have this very important session. All our R2S sessions have always ended up, on a positive note. People really benefit from it. And then our vendors really are looking forward to the next one. And then since we started from there, we continue this year. There's always been an increase in our vendor participation. So we're happy and excited to have you all here. My name is Valerius. I'm leading the sales and marketing team here in West Africa. That basically means that all of you vendors here talking about marketing, talking about sales, it's all under coming to my desk. I would have wished to make very, very good, strong pronouncements here about where Kuueza would go from here. I mean, after the end of this R2S. Myself and my colleagues, all your RMs are going to help you sell. We are going to market your product. One benefit of the RMs is that we wake up every morning, we sleep at night and wake up every morning thinking about your products, thinking about how to sell them, how to market them. So you don't have to worry about that. Now, when we reach out to you and say, can you give us a photo of your products? My photo camera is not right. And I'm trying to get a professional camera and then this and that. Can you get us a video of, especially if you want to share butter, there's a story behind the product. Because until they taste your product, what is the story? And then you're working with cooperative women, you're working with minority groups, you are using traditional methods, you are sourcing from organic. You need those content to be able to piece it all together. So we are your marketers, we are your video editors, we are your photo and flyer editors. We are looking at the platforms. We even spend money in marketing. Currently, we have ads running on Google and ads running on LinkedIn. But when we reach out to you for content, we struggle to get it. I just want to put it out there for Dwight to know, for Maxwell to know, and for the rest of my RMs to know. We struggle to get it. We wake up and we want to plan next week on what to promote and what to sell next week. And, people want your products. If you don't want it, you won't be in business. You have a sense that people want your product. So let us help you put the word out there. But the fact still remains, like what Dwight says, it's all about priorities. I'm happy that one of our vendors had to clarify, that it's not really like a lot of businesses. If you have a lot of things, if your business is a side hustle to you, myself and my RMs I'm not going to waste time on it. I just have to be frank on it. Because when our creative process and our marketing and sales process is interrupted because you want to put us on schedule, what even gets us, I wouldn't even go there, is that we have people wanting products and vendors are on holidays. You've gone for a funeral, you are here, you are there. So the store should tell the buyer to wait. I'm really happy that we're having vendors that are offering the same products. And of course, we're going to move from you being the main supplier of dates powder to we have a multiple dates powder. And when that happens, you will see how difficult it is to come back into a market that you were one dominant. We have that for honey. We have that for palm oil. We have that for all the products we have. And I'm happy to see Adire. I'm happy to see Lura with smoke from Northern Ghana. I'm happy to see Kente. We are getting there where we're going to have different options for buyers like Amazon. And then because that's what we want to model, Africa's Amazon. And people are going to come and see why would I buy from palm oil from Nigeria and not from Ghana? And then we are going to help you tell that story. But if you don't have the story, we are not going to put it there. So imagine all the money we put in marketing. People come to our platform, they order for products, and we can't fulfill. We can't. Recently in Nigeria, there's a vendor that set up the store the very week, and that very weekend, somebody wanted 5 pieces of Philip. What's the clothing again? Fila and
Agbada, yes. Agbada, yes.
Yes, and we reached out to the vendor to fulfill that only for the vendor to tell us that, can I get pre-financing for 5 pieces? The cloth is so expensive, I cannot pre-finance. What are you doing on our platform? Because they are not going to start buying things pre-financing with you. It's not done on Jumia. It's not done on OLX. It's not done on Amazon. You don't. For we do escrow. So when someone pays on the platform, of course, we won't let you to produce your product if you've not had the payment. So we will keep the payment when the person gets the product, and then you get paid. If you can't do that, Kuueza is not really the platform for you. You're going to stress us, you're going to let us waste money into market. We're not really the platform for you in that regard. There's a lot that we would have moving forward from this week. We're going to have one-on-one sessions with all of you, with all the vendors, with their RMs. We're going to look at your product. We're going to dissect your business, and we're going to put the word out there. And when we pass by you, like we've done, a lot of your colleagues are not here after the Abuja, Lagos event. Because now they want an RM and they cannot get an RM until they pay for it. So when we pass by you, of course, we're open to your schedule because we are your RMs, but we are not your personal assistants. We are not, you didn't hire us. So there's going to be a compromise where you're going to meet us on a schedule. We're going to have sessions. You're going to dedicate time on us, talk to us as business partners as we are. We are not something people that you have to check your spare time. No. It's like when you pitch to us and we are convinced, we pitch to a lot of people. Like Maxwell just kept the link on how to access funds at a particular threshold. We are going to pitch on your behalf. So if you treat us as an option, basically we are getting to a place where we are not going to have those options on Kuueza. So for the Agbada merchant, we have to make some concessions, but then so that the person's account is not turned off on our website. But eventually, we don't mind having just 5 vendors on the platform. That when that order comes from anywhere in the world, we are going to work with you in logistics. We are going to get your products there. We are going to get you paid. We assure the buyer that we'll get authentic, original African products, and we are also assuring you that we are going to get people that are trustworthy and have already paid for the products that you are fulfilling. Thank you for your time and availability for these sessions.
Thank you so much, Val, for that. I mean, for those vendors who have actually been with us, definitely we're going to reach out to you again. Dwight also said to you don't have to go out there renting big cameras for you to give us a video on how your product. I mean, your smartphones can actually do that. This is just to help you sell your product. So please, if your relationship manager reached out to you within the week or next week, kindly respond. Just find a way to send a video across so we can help promote your products out there. Lastly, before we go, Dr. Gatson, are you here? Do you have any final word for us, sir?
Yes, I'm here. I really want to thank you guys. I think it was a very good session, and especially Dwight for being able to engage people. But as you guys said, it doesn't matter to have all this session if people don't act, correct? So we all have to act. We all have to make a dent in the process. So great job. Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much, sir. Any final words from you, Dwight, before we leave?
No, no final words. Just you got to stay at it. It's a journey, and it's such a privilege and an honor to come before this group and speak to you. As Gaston always hears from me, when I'm with my African brothers, I'm at home. So if you ever need me, you ever want me, just let me know.
Thank you so much, Dwight, for that. Hello.
Good evening.
Yes, good evening.
Oh, sorry. Good afternoon. Okay, actually, the question I posted it in the chat and it's been answered. But since you called me, let me just share it. Maybe other people might benefit from it. I wanted to understand the model when you talked about the person with the agbada. So I was asking what the model is. Is it that because I know that typically if I go to a Jumia, for instance, to buy something, I will place an order and I will pay for that order before it will be delivered to me. So I was trying to understand what the Kuueza model is when it comes to payments.
Okay. Val, would you want
Normally,
to answer
I will
that?
pay and the product will be sent to me.
Okay. Val, would you want to answer that?
Yes, so I think I responded to a message in the chat saying that we offer escrow system. So escrow is one of our KYCs, one of our things that platforms are into e-commerce, cross-border as opposed to meet. So whenever, for example, when you are setting up your storefront, we ask you for certain documentation. Some of you found it to be a bit excessive, but due to the nature of the work we do, we have to set you up right. We do not want that when someone orders a product from Ghana, even from Ghana, from Nigeria, I'm from Ghana currently, but someone orders a product from Ghana and you want to bring it from Nigeria to Ghana, even if you use cross-country, the bus, you are still going to meet customs. The customs are going to ask if a product has NAFDAC. Now, if they don't have, what happens? You can't fulfill the order. But we have spent so much in marketing your product to the Ghanaian who has ordered. So that is why we have this. We have some of the documentation quite, top, so that it also serves as a reminder that if you want to go cross-border, these are the things you need to do. Now, the same applies to the payment. So somebody, just like Dwight mentioned, it might be a challenge that I want to pay for a product and I do not accept USD. So Kuueza would accept whatever currency the buyer is paying for. We have the platforms to accept that. And then when you fulfill, so we let you know of the order. We journey with you from when you get the order notification by email or your vendor dashboard. We journey with you until you fulfill the order. So we basically look at if you want to ship it on your own. That is, if you are not on the re-exchange, you are not really our priority. If you're on a re-exchange, and basically it's business. I know you all understand that for those of you that would want to invest in your business, we'll definitely have to offer you more priority support. So we'll check in with you on the shipping options, how to deliver the product to the buyer, how to do the packaging, how to get it done, tracking for you and the buyer, keep an open line of conversation. You can directly chat the buyer. We don't always have to get involved, but for the major parts of the order, we help you do that. Once it gets to the buyer, we would just ask you to check in with the buyer. Have you received it? The tracking says you have delivered and you picked it up. How is it? Can you leave a review? We also send reminders to leave reviews. So if you go on some of the stores that have sold on our platform, you can see the reviews left there. And once the product is taken up, we give the buyer a grace period. It's also a requirement. It's not set by necessarily us. It's a standard for all e-commerce websites. So we give, if you bought something online, you're given a grace period to confirm that the order is right. Even if they say the order is not right, we just don't take their word for it. You are a vendor, so we will open a dispute and go into the case and see how it's going to go. But if they say the product is right, that's fine. We would pay you the money because the money is already with us. If the money is not with us, we won't on the order. I will pay you in your currency. So if you request that I want the money to be paid in mobile money, MTN, or to be paid to my bank account or whatever it is, right? If you have a USD account, we'll pay you in USD. So basically, we just take care of a whole lot of things, you know, and you don't even have to deal with clearance, neither you nor the buyer. Everything is sorted out. All you have to do is be on our platform and be on the particular tier that your business is, where your business is now. If your business is, want to do things for free, that's no problem, just to get the word out there. If you want to invest a little more into your business, of course, we can up the conversations and up more. The products we have physically with us are the we exchange. So the we exchange will physically take our products to our retail partners in US and Canada. So what that means, when we are boosting an ad in Philly or in any states in the US and someone wants to buy your product, we can fulfill it because we have the physical products at our warehouse in the US. So we can fulfill it for you. And then you can request withdrawal of your money. But some of you want to play safe, too safe for business. Like we always say, profits are assumed risk. If you do not assume that particular risk, you cannot even make even $1 or one kobo or 1 profit. You really have to assume a certain risk. So if you want to, unless you get an order before you fulfill, you have to know that not all buyers can wait for that time. That time you want to tell them that, oh, the cheaper shipping method will take 30 days. Can you wait for it? Put yourself as a buyer. Would you wait 30 days for 3 liters of palm oil from Nigeria? Is it that you would cook? What are you buying the palm oil? If it's for the family gathering over the weekend in the US or in Canada, and you want African products and you hear of Kuueza, you go there. They are only going to buy from the product that we have in the US. Any other product in any other part of the world, if they can wait for it, fine. So B2B sales, if they want to buy in large scales and they can wait for it, fine. But then our priority are those that we have their physical products. So you have to make that decision. If you want to wait till you get an order and pray that they can wait, sometimes it's 45 days plus or minus to get the products. Or if you can join the We Exchange product and send your physical products ahead of time to our warehouse, we place them at vantage points. So whichever place the order is coming from, we can fulfill it in 7, maximum 40 days. Just as the normal times, even on Amazon, the lead time is 740 days. And so that is what we are trying to do. Thank you. I hope I've answered your question extensively, Ms. Gertrude.
To a large extent. Thank you so much. And I still have another question. Is there at what point do we get some kind of documentation that, captures, okay, this is what the vendor is supposed to do. These are the responsibilities of the vendor, responsibilities of the platform, and so on and so forth. Because I don't know whether I've missed something out, but I'm not aware that we've talked about this kind of documentation.
All right. Thank you for the follow-up. So for the vendors, I would always refer to you as the family. From the Abuja Lagos event that was recently held in Nigeria. It's quite a special case. So wanted to take it one step at a time. Fortunately, if you are here, that means that you have an active storefront and you've uploaded products on the platform. So from here, like we are sharing in the comment section, the following week and the following days after today, we are going to look at more into detail into that. So these are going to be one-on-one specific sessions where you and your RM and myself and any other expert on the team sits in, and then we treat your business as it is. We do not use a one-size-fits-all. We really want to understand your business. Usually, you should have had all these things before even setting up the storefront. But I know you understand that we are working through third party, which is UFAM, and cooperative. And so the alliance we have with them, there are certain responsibilities that UFAM would have to do that we would have done if we had just met you without the partnership. So that is why you might seem a bit unclear about this, but not to worry. Next week, no, sorry, next week is too far. You will not end the coming week in this confusion, I can assure you of that.
Okay, thank you very much. Because really, I've been wondering that, okay, so what exactly are we supposed to be doing with the different groups? There is the UFAM people, there is the Kuueza people. I don't remember the other name, but so I've been thinking of it in my mind, like, so what exactly is the relationship between us and them? So I hope that what this thing you have said will help to address that question, and some clarity will come into the picture, and then we can then know how to move ahead. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, for that. After this, should you have more questions to ask, I believe you all have ROMs. Kindly reach out to your ROM for any questions or any inquiry. They'll definitely give you the necessary information. You can also contact our support line or platform where we'll be able to give you more information. Dwight just informed me that he's leaving for another meeting. So I think that'll be all for today. And don't forget to follow us on all our social media platforms. See you all next time. Thank you so much for joining.